Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather. It's 10 to 14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us to 29th of June. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the excellent GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe on track a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us into the middle of July. And I shall get on that for you in a moment. Just say that first. The video release today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast. So please check out all of today's videos and content. Like, share, subscribe on all of today's vids. Thank you so much everyone for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much, everyone. Right, going to start off in the tropical Atlantic. 2 disturbance areas, a yellow extras here, 10 and 20% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 and 7 days. And then we've got potential tropical cyclone 1 in the Gulf of Mexico. That looks like it's going to become a tropical storm imminently. Well, I mean within like the next few hours, and head off into Mexico. So we shall keep you updated on that. Central temperature has updated. BC heating is currently sitting at 12.4, which is 1.7 degrees below 61 to 1990 average. And that's provisional to yesterday, to the 18th of June. So we're still hovering reasonably close to 2 degrees below average up to the 18th. These are the 500 millibar high dominant flow charts, Penn State University for next week to 10 days. We've got the ECFWF on the top. And the GFS, which we'll have a look at in a moment, is down here. On the bottom, 500 millibars, 80,000 metres, an area in the atmosphere, high pressure and low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream running above. Orange and red extrapolates to above average height, which is high pressure, blue to below average height, which is low pressure. So you can see in the 7 to 10 day time frame, you've got an area of high pressure sitting over and to the east country of the ECM, drawing up wind from a southerly southeast direction. That looks pretty warm. There is a trough of low pressure to the west of Biscay that might provide the energy for some thunder. GFS is similar, but the low pressure in the Atlantic is deeper. High pressure a bit further away from us. So the GFS is more towards a breakdown, actually, in the 7 to 10 day time frame. Possibly a fungy breakdown, followed by rain from off the Atlantic. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're at Cardiff today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Cardiff. Starting off around to slightly below average at the moment. Not going to be a particularly big deviation until we get to the weekend and start of next week. And then the upper air temperatures are lifting up. It's going to become significantly warmer through the early to middle part of next week. First sort of proper warm spell of the month. We do see as we go to the end of June or the beginning of July that the upper air temperatures then drop and revert closer to average. Precipitation-wise, going to be a lot of dry weather over the next few days, where there is some showers coming up sometime around the early part of next week, perhaps. And then more generally, we see some wet weather right as we get towards month's end, and that might be from a fungy breakdown. Now, of course, this is going to be coinciding with the Glasso period. So up to now, the Glasso updates have looked really good, with a lot of dry, fine and very warm weather. Perhaps a few signs within the GFS ensembles though, but by the end of next week we might be getting some sort of breakdown, maybe fungy breakdown coming along. So, you know, a bit of uncertainty creeping in down about the forecast for Glastonbury. We'll be doing our next Glastonbury update tomorrow. Will be a critical update, I think. Beyond that, into the start of July, still a little bit showery, but to be honest, that is at the same range and is therefore unreliable. Temperature anomalies from the 19th to 27th of June around to a bit above average. Precipitation anomalies from the 19th to 27th of June drier than normal, especially so in more eastern regions. Latest wind map from earthnullschool.net shows that we're under a ridge of high pressure today, extending in from the Atlantic. Rain bearing west-southwest has been pushed off to the north of the country. So we're largely high and dry today. Not sure what's happened there. Let's move on. Right, okay, let's have a look at the chart data then. Let's have the latest UK Met Euro is looking for midnight on Saturday. A shallow trough pushing across the country, bringing some showering conditions in with it. Through the weekend start next week, high pressure ridges up from the southwest, only being mostly dry and fine. And then we get a show of high pressure setting up over to the east of the country. That starts to bring the wind up for southerly southeast direction, so becoming much warmer for the early part of next week and also drier. However, it's not long by mid of next week for a bit of a fungy low starting to develop both to the south and to the west of the country, possibly indicating a fungy breakdown into the second half of next week. Icon again brings this shallow trough through on Saturday, to be followed by a ridge of high pressure building up the southwest Sunday to Monday, turning mostly dry and quite warm. Then the high pressure breaks eastwards into Tuesday. We draw up wind from a southerly direction, turns much warmer and drier, and then possibly hinting at a bit of a trough developing both to the south and also to the west there as we go through to the middle of next week. That gets us to Wednesday. Again, could just be a bit of a hint of a fungy breakdown. The KMA, again, builds up the high pressure from the Azores through the early part of next week, turning mostly dry and warm through the early part of next week. But then we've got low pressure developing both to the south and the west. So as we go into the end of next week, looks a little bit thundery. And then we start bringing low pressure in from off the Atlantic, actually. So by the time we get through to the end of the KMA, which gets us to the first day of July, we're actually looking quite wet and windy there. Oh dear. This is how the GFS midnight run is looking. Again, we've got a trough pushing eastwards across the country on Saturday. In the showery conditions, then high pressure builds up from the southwest Sunday to Monday, turns mostly dry and warm. High pressure then drifts eastwards through Tuesday. Up comes the southerly southeasterly winds, so looking mostly dry and very warm then. But look at this, a fungy low starts getting going Wednesday to Thursday, pushing northwards, bringing some heavy showers and possibly thunder with it. And that actually develops into quite a significant low by the time you get through to Friday. So very different GFS from there. And not great news for the Glasgow goers. Let's hope it's just the GFS throwing one out there. We get beyond that and we keep low pressure into the west of the country. We draw up these southwesterly winds looking rather showery as we go through the final weekend of June. Low pressure right in over top of the country through the beginning of July. Eventually the Azores high starts to be established again by the 5th of July, but how soon we take that? Not sure, it's a very long way off. This is how the GFS 6Z looks in comparison, a little bit showery as we go through Saturday and then on into Sunday and Monday, where high pressure builds up from the south, turning things mostly dry and warm. However, it's not long by the middle of next week for a fungy low starts to drift up from the south. That could bring some heavy showers and some thunder. By the end of next week, though, the Azores high is coming back in again. So we get a bit of a fungy interruption later next week, and then we're back to high pressure again by the final weekend of June. So very, very uncertain here now what's happening next week in terms of weather. Certainly looks like we can have a couple of dry, fine and very warm days, but how long that lasts next week remains to be seen. And if it does go to a funky breakdown through the middle to second half next week, will we then get back to high pressure quite quickly? Beyond that, well, high pressure then pulls away from us into the Atlantic. We turn rather cool and showering as we go through the first week of July with GFS 6-7. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share and subscribe. And show everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. It's amazing. It's incredible. And we thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. GM, again, with low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic as we go through into Saturday. And then high pressure builds up from southwest Sunday to Monday, turning things mostly dry and warm. High pressure sitting over to the east country through to Tuesday. Again, a lot of dry, warm weather with that. Fungy low trying to come up from the south through the middle part of next week. But actually, the ridge holds it off. So the GM is keeping things pretty dry, warm, maybe very warm through the course of next week, all the way up to day 10 when there is another fungy low threatening to the south. But the GEM much better for drier and warmer weather throughout next week. And then the ECM finally has a showery band pushed across the country on Saturday. Then we go through Sunday to Monday with high pressure ridging up from the Azores, mostly dry. 5 men, high pressure sitting over and to the east country to Tuesday, drawing in those very warm southerly southeasterlies, and that high pressure maintained to Wednesday as well. Thursday and Friday start to bring some sort of funky trough in from the south and the west, so threatening some thunderstorms, particularly to the south and the west by the end of next week, and developing into an area of low pressure by day 10, which is Saturday 29th, just to the west of the country. Right, we may have to do another Glasgow update tonight because there is quite a bit of a significant change going on here, actually. So if you're a Glasgow goer, I know I said that we'd do the next Glasgow update tomorrow, Thursday, but I might do one tonight, actually, you know, to bring everybody up to date with the changes that we're seeing today within the model output. Watch this space. Right, let's have a look at precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from TibetShow.com. Lots of dry and fine weather as we go through the next few days and into weekend as well. Here's that showery band though coming across the country on Saturday, and then we're back to mostly dry and fine conditions should be early to middle part of next week. But then we've got these heavy showers and thunderstorms starting to drift northwards by the second half of next week. They're particularly affecting more southern and west areas. You see that will be particularly in line for Glasgow, so not great for the Glasgow goers there. And that's how look as we get to Saturday the 29th, I think that is, deal with some rain out in the west. Looks a lot more unsettled there as we get to the second half of next week. Right, well, this is these are the 500 millibar height. Don't know what I'm talking about. And these are some table. Then the ECM ensemble day for day 10 gets us 29th of June. 21 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure to the north, some sort of trough to the south-southwest, bring the wind up from southerly direction. So rather showery potentially with that. And then we've got 21 with high pressure from the Atlantic into Europe. So that being mostly dry and fine conditions. 9 with high pressure to the north of Scotland, some sort of shallow trough just to the southwest. And that includes your operational run, so could be turning a bit thundery, especially in the south and the west. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 4th of July. 12 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to the northeast, high pressure to the west, bring the wind in from a westerly direction, driest in the west, wettest in the north. We've got 11 with low pressure right way through the country. That looks quite unsettled. We've got 9 with low pressure to the south, which will threaten perhaps some heavy rain thunder into southern regions. We've got 7 with high pressure over to the east. That should keep things mostly dry and fine. Another 7 with high pressure between Greenland and Scandinavia, low pressure to the south and the west, and 5 with high pressure just to the north of Scotland. A range of options at both day 10 and also day 14. So complications and uncertainty setting in. CFS V2, finally, these are 500 millibar high times break down into week periods. The first week period takes from the 19th 25th of June. The next week is dominated by high pressure over country. It's low pressure to the south that will be threatening some showers into the south. Week 2 is a significant change what I've been seeing lately. It's the 26th of June to 2nd of July as low pressure develops to the south and the west. Again, that could threaten some sort of a thundery interlude there. Week 3 will be the 3rd to the 9th of July with high pressure over the country, so that returns us to mostly dry and fine conditions after that bungee interruption. And week 4 is the 10th to 16th of July, high pressure between Iceland and Scotland. Winds in from the east should be mostly dry and you'd have thought relatively warm with that as well. But given that week 2 shows quite a significant change what we have been seeing over the past few updates from the CFS, not sure how seriously we take weeks 3 and 4. Anyway, that's it. We're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Drop a comment. Let's know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Right, so obviously we've got some complications here for next week. So this warm, dry, final week of June is not looking anywhere near straightforward now. Certainly the first couple of days of next week, Monday, Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, relatively straightforward still. A lot of dry, fine, warm weather. It's the second half of next week that's causing the complications. Is that fungi low going to start moving in from the south and west? If it does, it could turn quite wet with that. So I reckon we're going to have to do another Glasgow update for you this evening, actually. So if anybody's watching, interested in Glasgow weather, then I think we might have to do another update tonight, given the changes that we're seeing within the model output. So watch this space on the socials, and I shall confirm that maybe a little bit later on. Tomorrow, we've got the 6 a.m. UK weather forecast. We've got the detailed European outlook, and there'll be a 10 to 14 day. So please keep checking back to the channel for more. For this one, though, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.